Making a Nintendo fanboy mad is as easy as uttering two simple words: Steam and Deck. I don't understand how these two words can make any comparable person who devotes their entire life to a brand and corporation like Nintendo this angry so quickly. People who will consistently get mad at you because you didn't give the corporation enough of your money like they did and play those games on a different device that doesn't have the Nintendo brand is wild to me. How they go around consistently behaving this way, acting this way, saying the most horrible things about people, YouTubers, content creators, and anyone else who decided to go ahead and criticize the Nintendo Switch 2 is astonishing to me. But you know what? Let's talk about what really happened and how we got to this point, because baby, the salt on this is astronomical. It turns out Nintendo tweeted the other day saying this: hashtag Nintendo Switch 2 has sold over 3.5 million units worldwide in the first 4 days, becoming the fastest selling Nintendo hardware ever globally. Now, the problem with me isn't about the fact that this console sold, and the price of the console isn't terrible. It's okay, I guess. I would have liked it to be $399 because it doesn't have an OLED screen, but it falls in between the Steam Deck LCD and the Steam Deck OLED, so that's okay. The big issue for me, though, isn't the price of the box. It's everything around the box itself that is a major concern and factor. Number one, $80 games in variable pricing. That's a massive issue. Them stating to your face they're going to monetize your nostalgia is really not a good sign, and they're going to charge you more for games because they know you're too much of a simp to not give them the money for that game. Number two would be the C button requiring a literal credit card, so calling it the credit card button, locking away voice chat behind that actual setup as well, going around and just ripping the Discord UI for game sharing while playing everything at 1 FPS while you're using the device, a camera that costs an exorbitant amount of money that shouldn't be there in the first place, the insane ability for Nintendo to control every facet of what you're doing when you've already purchased the device as well, and on top of that, not giving the publishers and developers a general option for a proper game key card. Instead, you're getting a digital game key card to download the game as well, so physical copies are pretty much out the window. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me not forget this most important one. Being required to go online to download a patch to then get the console to run as it should have run day one out of the box. That's a fun one too.
Sword works on Nintendo Switch 2. Just popping it in. So it pops up immediately. Please connect to the internet and update your system. I cannot even launch a game that I have purchased, that I own, by popping in the cart. It will not let me launch the game. I don't like that. I think Nintendo should let you play whatever you want if you own it, especially if you're popping in the cart. You should not need to connect to the internet to be able to use your device.
And all of that together is the biggest problem why this device sold so many units so quickly. It goes to show that no matter how much companies will try to consistently, there's always going to be a large majority of people who do not care and will just spend the money and consume, literally screwing it for everybody else in the gaming industry. Now we have to deal with $80 games. Now we have to deal with everything else happening in the periphery, all because people cannot control themselves and realize what's happening to them directly. But you know what else? Apparently, people thought this was a campaign of misinformation and garbage happening, so they had to, of course, beat their chest about it. Let's see what happened, shall we? Sonic Hero XD Comms Open said this: them all, especially Young and especially Munahar. Oh God, yes! Look, I don't understand how people can get so angry about criticizing Nintendo. The devotion that these people have towards this company is wild to me. Saying everything but, oh, but it makes me happy, so I give them all the money. And anyone criticizing this console, this company, or what have you, have to go around and get this kind of treatment whatsoever. And even the fact that Mutahar folded like a book as Meg Thee Stallion walked by and literally bought a Switch 2 after he's saying he wouldn't. And I have not bought one, by the way, so don't add me on there. And to go around and add Charlie, Young Yeah, or Soy Yeah, and then Angry Joe. Look, criticizing a company is a good thing. Going around and just handing them money just because they ask for it is the bad thing. That's what we're talking about here. The criticism levied at Nintendo Switch 2 are totally valid. It's not a misinformation campaign. It's not a smear campaign. It's people going around and saying, hey, you should be aware what this device is going to do, and that's a good thing. But to say, oh, come on, Nintendo sold more. That is the most baby petulant child behavior you could ever imagine on seeing. And this is coming from a guy who wears a banana suit and acts like this on a video, telling you you're the one acting like a child. Katail XC said this: I shouldn't be rooting for the big tech giant, but people have been so annoying over this console that I am somewhat rooting for the big tech giant. 7.3 thousand likes, 261,000 views. Yes! You guys are so annoying about being pro-consumer and actually looking out for the best value for the person purchasing the product that, I'm just going to root for the horrible company that's going around increasing the cost of video games a second time in a generation, locking basic features behind a paywall in this generation on top of that, requiring me to always be online, not giving me proper game ownership through digital game keycards, and doing everything else possible to squeeze every penny out of my wallet. That's the big tech corporation you want to root for over people telling you, hey, here are the problems with this console. This corpo behavior truly is the worst of the worst. I thought PlayStation fanboys were sad when the only two games they've ever played have always been Console Wars and Twitter. That's their favorite games. And now you guys are playing those exact two games too. Behaving like the people you guys have lambasted for so long and saying, we're not like them, I promise, and turning around and behaving exactly like PlayStation fanboys. We now have the red salt back, ladies and gentlemen, going around and corpo gawk 9000ing over every company simply because the logo on the box is the one that you like. Absolutely wild to me. Here is Nintendo God. Oh, that's his actual name on Twitter. Saying this: every PlayStation fanboy and PC tech zombie seeing hashtag Nintendo Switch 2 sold 3.5 million in 4 days and become the fastest selling console of all time after running a misinformation and smear campaign for over a year. This is absolutely wild to see. A misinformation and smear campaign. Yes, properly criticizing a corporation that shouldn't be doing these things to you is now misinformation and a smear campaign. It's crazy how simply criticizing this device, this console, and expecting better from Nintendo is now a year of misinformation and smearing. Rather than saying, hey, there could have been things this company did better for me as a consumer, no, you're doing backflips, twists, and tricks on it more than anybody I've ever seen. Literally putting Remy LaCroix and Rebecca Linares to shame after the years of work they've done on their content, my guy. Do better for your life. Do better for yourself. But clearly we know you're going to twerk for it for a couple dollary dues every day, I bet. Nice job. Here's Juice Man Vaughn saying this: Steam Deck got crushed in 4 days. Laughing, crying emoji times 3. Remember when I said the two words that trigger every Nintendo fanboy are Steam and Deck? Here it literally is. My boy, 2.9 million views on this. 33,000 likes, and everybody's like, yeah, we crushed the Steam Deck, you guys. It just took 8 years, an entirely new generation of console to finally keep up with a device that's been out for 4 years already and can literally emulate all the Switch 1 games right now. And they never have to buy a goddamn game about it ever again. You got them, boys. You got them. You sold more than a device that is only available online on Valve's website or to third-party sellers on Amazon. Boy, you sure showed them. You sure got it. It is crazy to me how these dudes will literally talk about console sales, and the only thing they want to compare it to is the Steam Deck. And then when everybody says the Steam Deck only sold 4 million units, it's a flop. It's not even the same. It's not even the same thing. It's not even the same ballpark or hemisphere. It's a literal personal computer in the palm of your hand that plays everything from every platform on that one device. And the only thing you have to combat it is the sales of your plastic box. Think about how pathetic you are in your life that the only W you had to get was to go around and celebrate a W of console sales simply because it had the word Nintendo on it, and you know every normal would buy it anyways. And instead of you being happy with the video games, you're more worried about the people that you apparently don't care about that got crushed. Ah, you love to see it. Prosafia Gaming said this. So how many Steam Decks were sold in those 4 days? So many people claimed they will buy one instead. This gets even better. 3.3 million views and 15,000 likes on this tweet. I have never seen people so angry about the Steam Deck in my entire life. Basically showing these clowns that for the last 8 years, being able to play Switch 1 games on your Steam Deck without giving Nintendo any money has hurt them to the core. And if we want to talk about Steam Deck sales, well, at the time of this recording on Sunday, it turns out that it's sold out. Yeah, the Steam Deck OLED 256 and 512 versions are completely sold out. This is the screenshot for it. So apparently people are buying a Steam Deck. So that's pretty good, since the only place you can buy the Steam Deck is from Valve directly. So the only one open right now is the LCD, and that's $399, $50 cheaper than the actual Switch 2. So we can play all the games on Steam, all the PlayStation games, all the games on GOG, all the games on Epic, and then at the same time even emulate all PS1, PS2, N64, 3DS, GameCube, Wii, Switch 1 games, and every other console as well. Oh, PS3 games as well, OG Xbox. Kind of crazy how we can do all of that all together. But all you care about is how many sales of the actual device that were sold instead of playing the one video game you only have to play and paying money to get an upgrade for the old games you already bought. But hey. Y'all sold more consoles though, right? So I guess you got it. I guess you got it. And things now take a turn for the insane, because Desho T quote tweeted Profacia Gaming saying this: Switch emulation while emulating Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Desho turned around and got 10 million views on this post, 5.5k likes, and unfortunately, Desho, honey, you've got a big storm coming, because we're going to see some rapid fire replies and quote tweets to this. So I hope you guys are all strapped in, ready to go, because when you see this, it is going to be a cavernous mountain of salt coming down your way about someone simply saying, I can emulate Switch games on my Steam Deck. Are you ready? Here we go. Prosafia Gaming quote tweeted Desho saying this: can it emulate Switch 2 games yet? That's the whole point. Juiceman Vaughn quote tweeted saying this: all these broke bums want to do on Steam Deck is display how they play Nintendo games for free. G.Rise/Gwampus said this: do Steam Deck users even play any Steam games on it? Genuine question. Corey Cooper says, I truly don't understand the point of this. Instead of supporting games you obviously want to play, you steal them. Are all Steam Deck owners this dense? Like, this isn't a flex. It's ridiculously ignorant and a bit childish. And the replies get even better, because Monkey Addicted to Mushrooms says, these past few days I have felt dirty using my Steam Deck because of people like you. Desho replies, take a shower. Oh God. Oh no. Here come the clapbacks. Silver, hey at Nintendo of America, you might want to check it out. Desho at Nintendo. Shutnak says, should point out that the average player does not have the technical knowledge to hack their Steam Deck, a Linux-based platform for emulation, and would rather just buy a Switch 2 and buy games. It's not hacking, it's a download away. Oh God. Oh God. Listen, look, the amount of people this angry at the fact that Desho can emulate Switch games truly goes to show that these corpo cucks only care about the fact that they can't play every single game on their little device. At the big win for the Steam Deck is the fact that they can play every single game, even Switch 1 games, and soon, hopefully, with an emulator, Switch 2 games as well. That's why PC gaming is in fact the best way to play games. Every game from every platform on one device. The difference is, though, people saying the most like this, saying, do Steam Deck users even play any Steam games? My boy, there's no such thing as a Steam game. It's just PC games. That's the difference. Every game on PC plays on the Steam Deck. Well, practically every game, unless it has really bad anti-cheat like Apex Legends. And honestly, nobody should be playing Apex Legends. And that's the crazier part about this. None of these clowns know anything about technology or how the Steam Deck actually works, saying that you have to hack your Steam Deck, trying to at Nintendo of America, trying to at the FBI. No, I'm not kidding. Saying things like, why don't you give money to the company instead of taking it for free? The company has to earn our dollar. They don't get it for free. That's why clowns like you are being made fun of on this content every single day. You shouldn't be just giving a company money because they ask for it. They should be earning that dollar from you directly. And if they don't want to sell it on PC, well, we'll just take it instead. And my favorite part is the entire like, oh, you're just broke. You don't want to give Nintendo any of your money, so you can't afford this, even though the Steam Deck costs more than Nintendo Switch 2 does. But hey, we're the broke ones, I guess, right? Sure, I guess you're just also... Way to go. But let's be real about this entire thing. The Switch 2 selling 3.5 million units in 4 days is, I guess, a good metric to go by. But the problem is the ramifications of this console selling that many units is also a bad thing for gaming overall. Again, variable price increases, complete control over your account and your device even after you've purchased it, and everything else coming down along the line for lack of ownership of actual games and everything else in general. This is not a good thing overall. And celebrating this and being a corp is never going to be a good thing as well. We talk about PlayStation fanboys doing this. Now Nintendo fanboys are doing tricks on it even more than anything I've ever seen. And this is going to end badly for everyone because now we're dealing with those ramifications directly. With Xbox charging $80 for Outer Worlds 2, seeing as how every other company is no longer reducing prices over time, but instead raising those prices overall, simply because you corporate writers wanted to go around and celebrate how much money you spent for the corporation and feel like you're getting validated because you spent that money. How about maybe for once, instead of being nothing more than a pay pig on your hands and knees, squeaking and oinking whenever Nintendo claps your hands and you bark like a seal, you should basically, like, I don't know, go ahead and get some self-fucking-respect and you wouldn't be in the situation in the first place. And gaming would, in fact, be in a better spot overall. But hey, I guess you clowns love spending money when you shouldn't, and this corporation literally doesn't care if you exist or not. So I guess in the end, you played yourself. So ladies and gentlemen, as always, we will be making fun of fanboys every single week. And now that we have Nintendo fanboys back on the menu, it's going to get even spicier. Mwah. You gotta love it. But with all that being said, if you liked today's video, thank you. And if you didn't like it, fuck you. If you want to see more of this kind of content, more gaming news, my hot takes in the gaming industry, fanboy content like this, PC port reviews, and yes, Steam Deck videos as well, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 84,000 subs, and I just want to say thank you guys so very much for everything. If you want Discord access or most during live streams, become a YouTube member. It's as low as $1. And if you don't want to spend the buck, don't sweat it. Saturday nights, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, live on this channel, we do a live stream, and trust me, you're going to love every minute of it. I guarantee it. With all that being said, though, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you gooners next time. Peace!
It's time to stop. It's time to stop, okay? No more. Where the fuck are your parents? It's time to stop. It's time to stop, okay? No more. Where the fuck are your parents? You need to stop everything. What are you doing with your life? This is not okay. This needs to stop now. This is needs to stop now. This is cancer.